Hello, I'm SoundGuyStu and this is Let's Add Sound, and today we're going to be adding some environmental ambiences. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so here we are in FMOD Studio, and what I'm going to do first is just sort of tidy up the session a little bit, just so that when we need to look for stuff in future it's a lot easier. So we will pop these into a folder called Foley. And they're in the Foley bank. That's fine. I now want to make another new folder which I will call Ambience, and we'll need to bring in our sounds. So if we go to the audio bin, I've also created folders in here, one called Ambience and one called Foley, and it looks like all the sounds are in there already. So in our Ambience folder here, I'm also going to make a Ambience sound bank as well. There we are. So everything's neat and tidy. Now, back to this. In the Ambience folder, new 3D event. We're going to call this C Loop 1. And I will assign it to Ambience. C Loop 1. And we're going to bring in C Loop L. So I want this to loop. Okay, good stuff. It's quite a large area that I wanted to cover, because obviously you want to be able to hear it on most of the beach. So I'll just drag that out a little bit. And if we just duplicate this, because I do have another C loop, and we can rename C Loop 2, assign to bank Ambience. Okay. Now it does say C Loop L and C Loop R, but they are actually different C loops, and that's important because if I put them in the map together and they're playing at similar or the same time, it can cause phasing issues. So I've deliberately chosen two different loops. So we want to get rid of this and pop number 2 in there. Wonderful. I also have another sound which can be a 3D event, and this is for the boat water splash. I want a little bit of water to splash on the boat, makes it seem a bit more real, and it'll go along with the kind of rocking boat animation as well. So splash, boat splash. Wonderful. Assign to bank Ambience. Boat splash, and you can see it's here, lapping splash. Truly magnificent. That one can take up a little bit more space, but I will adjust these once they're in the map. Okay. Actually, I'm going to neaten these up again and just create a new folder within this folder. And we're going to call that beach. And just keep all of these in that beach folder. And I want another sound, 3D sound, which is for the seagulls. Gulls. And we're going to assign that one to the ambience as well. Gulls. So for this one, I've got a few different seagull sounds, and I want them all to trigger randomly, but I also want them scattered around the map, so it sounds like they're coming from all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a scatter instrument, and I'm going to drag all the gull sounds into here. And if we loop this, you'll hear it generates lots of different gull sounds, but I don't want that many all at once. And if I just move the sound, and I'll also randomize that. I've randomized the pitch a little bit and the volume, and it should it should scatter the sounds around the map, making it sound a bit more like there's birds flying overhead. Okay, lovely. So these are all the sounds I'll need for the beach area. What I'm going to do is save and build, and we can just pop over to Unreal. Okay, so if we go to the FMOD folder here and events, you will see we now have the Ambience bank, the beach folder, and we have our loops here. So what I want to do is position them in the C loop, and you can just drag it into the game map there and it'll generate one for you. So what I want is the internal circle here, this sphere in the middle. That's going to be where you hear the sound the loudest, and then it sort of falls off towards the outer circle. So as the beach is quite a large area, I actually want this to be a bit bigger. So you can attenuate in Unreal if you override the attenuation there, and that'll just mean that you can sort of get a rough idea. So the smaller circle I probably want about there, maybe even that much, and then the larger one up to the edge of the grassy area here, because that's when you sort of change into a new play area. So it's about 40 and about 20. Now I'm just doing that here so that I can get a rough idea of what I'm looking at, because I can then go back into FMOD and get the C loop here and change this attenuation to 20 and about 40, 45. I'll do, and save, build. So now when we go back into Unreal, if I get rid of Unreal's attenuation, which was that one, we can see we've set it up in FMOD instead. So how does that sound? Let's play and see if it's... I mean, that's okay, but it seems to go from too loud to too quiet. So what I might do is go back into FMOD and just change the attenuation curve slightly. Just bring that out a bit, bring that in a bit to maybe 15. And save, build, and let's pop back into Unreal. Now, I think it's just because the actual sea sound is a bit loud. It's meant to be an ambience, but it seems to be taking over right now. So what I'll do is I'll go back in to FMOD and just sort of bring the volume of this down, maybe 4.5. Let's see how that sounds. Still a bit loud. So I'll just quickly jump back in, bring it down, maybe 6. Yeah. So save, and then also Ep02, I'll probably do the same. Bring that down, 6, and just bring this out to about 15, about 45. Here we go. Save, build. Come back over to Unreal, and we can place number 2 as well. I'm just going to grab it and put it over here. And the reason I've done that is that the sea sound will be coming from the sea, whichever direction you face. Wonderful. So what I'm now going to do is just add that little splash sound that we made for the boat, which can be a lot smaller because it's just really to indicate that the boat's here, and we can see how that sounds. Okay, I think that sounds fine. I'll probably just tweak the C to bring it down a little bit in volume as well, just so that it's more of a background noise and not overtaken. Okay, so we also need to add in the gulls sound effect, which is this scatter sound. So really I can put it anywhere, but what I'll do is I'll drag it in there. And you can see already the inner sphere is far too small, and the outer sphere is too large. So what I'll do is just override the attenuation just now. I think maybe I want it about there. So let's say 15-ish. And then the larger one I just again want to come to sort of as you're crossing through this threshold here. So that's about 30. So if we go back over to FMOD Studio, gulls, bring this over to 15. Oh wait, no, that's the scatter distance. I don't want to do that. I want to bring this one here in the master to 15. And that to about 30. Okay. And save, build, come over to Unreal, and if I get rid of the attenuation here, you'll see it's about the same there. Let's see how that sounds. So you can see we've got the seagulls randomly generated. Sounds good. Let's add some sounds into the forest and then sort out how they overlap with the beach. So if I go back to FMOD, get rid of the beach, we're going to make a new folder called forest. And what I'm going to do is pretty similar, but for this one, for the forest, we actually have a 2D ambience that's just going to play in the background. So forest ambience. Let's keep the camel text. And we're going to assign you to the ambience. Forest ambience. Bring up our audio bin here. And I've just got this loop here, which is a nice forest background sound loop. So simple as that. Then I want to, just to add in a bit more sort of three-dimensional sound, I'm going to add in some spot sound effects as well. So new event, new 3D event. We're going to call this tree birds and assign that to ambience. Tree birds. And if I just bring up our audio bin again, I've got a few different bird calls here, which again, I kind of want to have in a scatter sound. So if I bring all of these to here, let's just loop this and play it. Okay, we'll add a bit of modulation as well. Random. Yeah, don't need to worry about that. Okay, so I've got here the scatter sound. I might actually bring that a bit closer. So I want it all to spawn from one area because I'm going to put it in a tree, so that's fine. And if I go to the master, I want to set the output of this to stereo. Because the scatter sound will send sounds all over the place, but I actually just want them to be focused in one area so that as you walk around, they're focused in that one tree. So that should do for that one. I'm also going to make another, oh no, don't want 2D. Another 3D event, and we're going to call this frogs. Very similar, we're just going to make one for the frogs and put it on the ground. Ambience. Frogs. Scatter sound. Loop. And we've got frogs here. Bring them in. Oops. Bring them into the scatter sound. Bring it right down to nothing. Okay, so save and build. Okay, back in Unreal, and we are going to zoom over to the forest, which is here, and bring out that stereo ambience we got. So if I go into ambiences, forest, we have forest ambience. Drag that out into the middle. Now it has no attenuation, so let's just pop back over forest ambience. We're going to add in the object spatializer. I don't know why that wasn't there. I must have selected 2D by accident, but I want a 3D sound for this. So we're going to drag this out quite big. It's to cover the whole area. And save, build, pop over to Unreal. There we go. So you can see that attenuation is far too big. So what I'll do is I'll override it and just see what kind of size we want. So about 20. And then for the outer circle, we can go a bit bigger because we want to come sort of to the edge of here and then also in this cave a little bit as well. So it's about 35. All right. Head over to FMOD and change us to 20 and 35. Okay. Save. Build. Pop over here, remove this attenuation. That's the FMOD attenuation. Looks pretty good. Let's just see how it sounds. Yep, sounds fine. And now we'll pop in a few spot sounds. If we drag in the tree birds, pop them in the trees. And again, I'm going to want to change this attenuation here, so I'll just get a rough idea. Maybe about 8. Yeah, about 8 to 12, maybe 15. Birds are quite loud. So tree birds, master, attenuation, about 8 to about, well, 15 seems to be the size we can get there, so that's fine. Save and build. Back over to Unreal. Get rid of the Unreal attenuation, and it's about the same there. And then we can also add in the frogs on the ground. And the attenuation for that actually looks not too bad. So let's give it a go. Okay, I hope you found that useful, and if you like it, please do like it and subscribe for more content in future. And if you feel like supporting me, you can give me a tip or buy me a coffee. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. Alright, see you next time.